Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Bia Zoo. My name is Nissa and today we're gonna talk about the Spectacled Caiman, and I built this habitat which I'm really happy with. It will be the last step in our ride tour. We are not done building for the ride, but it will be this, you can see here, the last step before, or the final thing they can see before they end the tour. So I hope you want to see that, and if you want to learn about the Spectacled Caiman, then please keep watching. Okay guys, before we get too much into the information here, I just want to mention that it is on purpose that I choose to ride this the trail here. It is so we can get the water under it, and at the same time a lot of animals in water are able to jump a fair bit out of it. So therefore we not only racing trail in here as you see now, but after recording this I did, and before the cinematics I went in and raced pretty much all the way over to the lion habitat, so we can get our guests safe from the animal. I know because of the way these cars are made that the lions would also be able to break in there. I do however imagine that there would be a little more safety around the car, but here we don't want any crocodilians to jump up on the trail, so therefore I raced it. I don't think I have too much to say about the habitat itself, beside the obvious that you can see here in the video, so why don't we jump right into the information I have about the beautiful Spectacled Caiman. And as it is in most of my videos, my information comes from animalia.bio. I know I don't always mention it, but I do always link it in the description below, so you can go and read a little bit for yourself if you want to. There's always some things that I basically don't have the time for here in these videos, so I do recommend that you go and read for yourself if you feel like it. Again, I know some of you would like more information and some of you do believe I talk too much probably, and we have a room for both cams here on my channel, but I decide how much I talk. Though I also know you can shut up the sound on these videos, so if you only want to see the live stream, sorry, not the live stream, the build, and want to hear something else, maybe a podcast or something like that, then that's also totally okay. I do that myself on a few videos, and I wouldn't hate anyone for doing the same. But the first informational thing I will like to just mention here about the Spectacled Caiman is that there is something here about the information I personally find a little weird. If you don't know Animalia, they have like the 5 more sought out information in the top, which depend a little bit on the animal, but here it is population size, which is over 1 million. Then we have lifespan from 20 to 40 years. Top speed is 48 kilometers per hour. I'm just gonna mention again that is kilometers, because I'm Danish and I don't know what a mile is. So then we have the weight and the length, and there's something a little weird here where the weight is 7 to 40 kilos. And that's a pretty big span, to be honest. 7 to 40 kilos, that would be 14 to 80 pounds. Roughly, I calculated this in my head, so take it with a grain of salt. And the length is from 1 to 2 meters. This isn't that weird. A lot of crocodilians, some of them grow very large, and a lot of them don't. Some of them it's based on gender, some of them it's based on age, and different kind of stuff that isn't weird. What is weird is we have a 1 meter and a 2 meter. I'm guessing the 2 meter will be around 40 kilos. 1 meter is still pretty long for a caiman, I think. I don't know all caimans out there, but the ones I have seen have been like half a meter, to be honest. But 7 kilo for a 1 meter caiman just doesn't seem that big. But it may be put in here as they are born around 7 kilos, and the 1 to 2 meters is for the adults. This is me guessing. It's not verified on the site. I just want to mention that I find it a little weird. Another thing I also don't always mention is all of the names, because a lot of animals have various names. Some of them are based on language, some of them are based on religion, some of them are based from different geographical areas, but a lot of names are either the same or meaning the same, just translated. The Spectacled Caiman have a lot of names. Here we have, for instance, I just gotta mention because I saw this for one of my shorts I recorded the other day. The black-footed cat also was called the small cat, and I think it was the small black-tailed cat, and it's pretty much the same, all of them. But the Spectacled Caiman have weird names. One of them is the common caiman. Again, the common caiman would be different. What is common for you based on where you are. Then it has the tinka, I think it's pronounced, the baba, the babilla, the babicha, the claricia, the caiman blanco, the caiman de Brazil, the cascarudo, I think, I'm not sure about that one. And then we have the jacaretinga, which I guess go back to the tinka name, I'm guessing here. The lagaro, sorry, I'm gonna try that again. Lagato and the lagato blanco and the yucca blanco. What I find very funny is that I know there's something called a Euchara Caiman, and it seems to be spelled the same way here. So we have a lot of different names. I'm guessing it has something to do with where they live, because they live in a lot of countries, which is basically because they are from South America. They also live in North America a little bit, but because of many of these South American countries have their own language, and even countries that have the same language, such as, for instance, now I'm just saying something to compare to, North America, England, Scotland, Ireland, and New Zealand, Australia. They all speak English, but they still have specific words that aren't the same. And I'm guessing that's kind of the same with the Cayman here. This is, however, totally different countries. This is Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, or that went too well with the first one, Guyana, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, Suriname, Trinidad, and Tobago, Venezuela. So yeah, it's a lot of countries, but yeah, it is a big area. Compared to a country like Denmark, it's a pretty big area. But compared to if it was in the US, then US would be one country but have the same area. So it's not always the countries that decides how big an area. It is, however, found in a lot of biomes, being, for instance, I'm not gonna read all of them, rivers, bogs, wetlands, blackish water, lakes, freshwater, marine, swamps, grassland, savanna, scrubland, forest, marsh, and so on. Coastal areas, of course, but they only live in one climate zone, which is the tropical one. Again, remember that Frontier did mess up a bit with the biomes in the game, where, for instance, tropical is put as a biome. It is actually a climate zone, where grassland is a biome. And I know this will confuse some of you, but just know if you just pay attention to Zoopedia, then you are somehow covered. For the game part of it anyway. When we look at the feature of the spectated caiman, it has this dull olive, almost black, very dark green color. And then they have these gross bands around the body, which are yellowish or black depending on the caiman. The young, as it is with many crocodilians, have more clear colors and more contrasting colors, so they have this lighter yellowish color, still with colorations of darker markings, but it's more like spots instead of these cross bands, though they can still have some kind of bands. The spectated caimans are distinguished by the bony infraorbital bridge between their eyes. Yeah, sorry, I needed to read that because it's basically this bony structure just above their eyes. Their eyes are more like placed above the head, and then they have this bony texture that stands to protect it, if you can imagine that. They are, however, as many crocodilians are, distinguished from other animal crocodilians by their dental records. And here it is the fourth mandibular tooth, which cannot be seen when it have a closed jaw. And just to confuse you anymore, different subspecies of the spectated caiman vary in color, size, and their head. So you can find other crocodilians out there that are subspecies of the spectated caiman that will look a little more yellow, a little less yellow, a little more green, however, have another shape of face, but the dental is really where you can go in and pick them apart. However, don't try to open their mouths to check out their teeth, you probably won't survive that. A thing I think a lot of us knows about reptilians are that they are cold-blooded, therefore they need to bask in the sun to keep themselves warm and functional. However, I was a little bit confused when I read that spectated caimans are nocturnal and the sun's usually only up in the day. However, we are in a very warm climate here, and the sun is up in longer periods than they will be in Canada, for instance, where the sun is away more of the day. I hope that makes sense. However, you need to understand the nocturnal behavior here, which means they are active, doing most of their hunting and such at night, where they do their inactive activities during this day, which is remain on the water or bask in the sun. So they are still awake in the day, they are still out, they are still basking in the sun, but they just sleep while they're doing it to be more practical. For food, the diet honestly changed throughout the life of a caiman, especially the spectated caimans, because they grow that much. So, for instance, some of their food like insects, snail, crabs, shrimps, smaller fish, lizard, and such are very good foods for a young or a smaller spectated caiman. They need more substance when they get older, so that's more like crabs, bigger crabs, bigger fish, lizards, snakes, turtles, mammals, and bird. And they will even eat smaller spectated caimans, especially with there's a drought. So the caimans need to group up in bigger groups and will therefore be handy to eat, basically. But they will also just, if a small one get in their way, eat them. Cannibalism isn't a new thing for caimans at all. Please remember here that caimans are, or spectated caimans are solitary creatures. They aren't like really solitary, like they will have like loosely knit groups of small like individuals up to 5 or 6 or something like that, but they do most of their living active day life, they do that alone. So they will accept the other are there, but they aren't like socializing or helping each other out or anything like that. It's more like a acceptance of them. Unless, as many animals, it is mating season, which will occur depending on where they are based. The climate will affect this a little bit, but it will be between May and August. In this period, the males will be more aggressive, more territorial, and therefore have like less social acceptance of other males. Especially because the males will, because they are polyamorous, try to mate with as many females as they possible can. So therefore removing the obstacle of other males are in their advantages. And where have I heard this before? So therefore, of course, the dad is totally out of the picture, and the eggs will be laid between July and November. 10 to 30 eggs, and it will take about 65 to 104 days for the eggs to hatch. After this, they will still have a need of both mom and kind of that, because they still live in the same area, and mom, the other moms and dad will help them stay protected from other predators, again such as bigger caimans. However, after a year and a half, they will be kicked out and have to make it on their own. Now, when you enjoy the cinematic, please notice I changed the water, basically because caimans, like many crocodilians, will muddy up the water themselves, and the mud in the water will help them be protected for the sun, both when they are in the water but also when they go on land. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today, and I really hope you enjoyed it. As I mentioned, I'm been going live extra on my second channel this Friday because Pokemon Violence come out. And I play Pokemon on my second channel, which is Nisman. Link is in the description here below if you want to join me over there also. And I will be there Friday, Saturday and Sunday this week. So therefore maybe I hopefully get a lot of these videos pre-recorded for next week. But if they're missing something, then you know it's because I'm playing Pokemon. And you all know when we get a new game, we really want to play it. So yeah, I hope you are okay with that. Again, Planet Zoo, I have my heart fully, so I will come back to it very soon. But when we get a new game, it's pretty fun to play with for the first couple of days. Anyway guys, you know the drill. Like, subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye guys.